to challenge you to make plays. You're going to have to win some one-on-one battles. They're going to load the box and stop the run. So I just think they're very well coached, and they play very aggressive.
Jeff, you mentioned the environment down there. Based on what you've seen so far, your team's demeanor and how they've handled other challenges, do you feel pretty good about them handling the first road game, or the first true road game?
Well, I think our team will be prepared for it. We work a lot on silent counts and noise level, and that's what you kind of deal with, the noise, and being able to not allow that to distract you from what you have to get done, on both sides of the ball. And I just think when you play in that type of environment, if the other team gets momentum and the crowd gets loud, you've got to be able to block that out and still be able to play hard and stay concentrated and focus on what you have to do. But just like anything, when you have the 12th man on your side and the fans are into it, it can be an advantage. So we've got to try to negate that as much as we can.
Yeah, Armstrong's a veteran quarterback, been around. I had a good game against Louisville a couple of years ago, and their offensive coordinator, I think you played against last year when he was at Syracuse. What's the key to stopping their offense, and what specifically do they try and do the most?
Well, I think you're talking about a veteran offensive coordinator who's been there and done that. He does a very, very good job, and he's been with this quarterback before, and I think they're able to give you some different looks, have some balance. They have a couple different protection schemes they use to take advantage of teams that want to play aggressive on him. They're able to get the ball to playmakers. He always has a little creativity to what he's doing, and I just think when you have a veteran quarterback who's able to handle that, it will allow you to try to game plan against what he's seen to this point, and try to create some big plays. So I just think veteran coordinator, veteran quarterback equals. We have to, be very prepared for him.
If I don't think have you played a game in Carter Finley? Have you coached a game there?
I do not think I have.
What do you know about it? It always seems to be such a kind of a crazy environment there, and they say it's sold out and it's going to be a Friday night game. What do you kind of expect from that environment?
Well, when you look at the first two home games being sold out, now this one being sold out, I mean, that's fans that are passionate about their team, and that'll be into the game. And anytime you have a night game, it can create a little more of a wild and hectic atmosphere that I'm sure they're going to cherish to get done. So our players have to be prepared for it, and I think when you play in that, you've got to try to start fast. You've got to keep the game close early on, and not let anything get out of whack, or that thing can build and it can get even louder. So I just think all those things are important. While we've played away games, I don't think we've seen this type of atmosphere to date. So we've got to be prepared for it and be able to adjust to anything that comes up.
So what have you seen from the defense so far, and how much do you feel like they've taken a step with defending Castellanos last week, and then what you kind of expect for them this week against someone like Brennan Armstrong?
Well, I think we were more aggressive in our approach last week, and it has some advantages. We've got to build on that. We've got to find ways to affect the quarterback, get after the quarterback, tackle the quarterback. We allowed the last quarterback to escape a few times when we shouldn't, when we had free blitzers coming off the edge, so we've got to get that fixed and corrected right away. That allowed him to scramble and for the receivers to a little more time to get open. We had a couple times where we didn't know who exactly had the ball in the zone read game they had, and that created the first touchdown when we really had a corner and safety that should have been right there waiting for the quarterback. They kind of followed the ball, they followed the fake handoff and didn't know who had the ball. So just some small things that we really got to get cleaned up. We got to be precise in what we're doing. I think we have to adjust and adapt the plan as well, because they are going to be well coached and well schooled, and they got a veteran quarterback. So I think having a little bit of creativity to slightly change the plan each week is important, especially on the road at NC State.
Most coaches take the opening kickoff if you win the toss. Is that something new for you to defer, and is it hard to do?
Well, actually, it is something new. Years ago, we used to always take the ball first. for whatever reason, over the past 10 years, we've had way more success deferring than we have accepting the ball at the beginning. Now, sometimes weather will dictate that, but a lot of times if you defer and you create a stop, you've got the advantage. And then getting the ball in the second half is very important to start the second half. And for whatever reason, in our past, when the other team has got the ball to start the second half and gone down and scored, it has not equaled a good game for us. So I just think we've calculated that and we've added that up. We talk about it all the time, but right now we're 4 for 4 on winning the toss, and we're 4 for 4 on winning games. So that's added to the percentage of deferring. So we probably will do that again.
Jeff, when you play a game like this, do you practice at night into this week? Do you pipe in noise? Do you do anything to try and create the kind of environment you might face on Friday night?
Well, in fall camp, we had a couple of night practices for this exact reason, for night games, and to adjust to that. As far as, so we will just practice during the day this week. But the noise, without question, is the factor. So yes, we pipe in the noise. We've done it for all of our away games when we weren't for sure quite how loud it was going to be. This one is for sure is going to be loud. So the noise will be going a lot. Being able to communicate, whether by hand signal or sideline signals, is going to be important that we do on offense, but actually on defense as well. So I just think working that crowd noise constantly and having that out there, we've done it for years where we've been, and it is beneficial. You have to do it during practice. Even where we've been before, our guys normally stay after practice for 5 or 10 minutes and go over that a little bit more as far as having the noise and the communication. And you do the best job you can. It does always favor the home team because you've got to go to a silent count. You've got to do things that make you cause to sit up at the line of scrimmage longer than you want, which can cause some false starts and some leaning and moving that you don't want to have happen. All these little 5-yard penalties can add up, so we got to make sure we keep that to a minimum.
Jeff, obviously Jamari Thrash is going to be the main guy that opposing defenses are going to scheme against, but how encouraging was it to see Jack establish a repertoire with multiple different receivers in that deep passing game against Boston College, and how much more difficult does that make this offense to contain, knowing that it's not just going to be Jamari Thrash that opposing defenses have to worry about going over the top?
We've worked hard at developing playmakers, and that'll always be an important part of getting better. I think our guys have worked hard. Some guys emerged this past week and did a really good job. We got to continue to keep working through that and making sure that our quarterback is comfortable spreading the ball around. I think we have, like I said, after the game, we got a group of guys that really want to do well. Some are young, some are new. There's some nuances that you just got to continue to work through. You never know when your number's going to get called or where you may have your big breakout game, but you got to be ready for it. So I just think we got to keep working through it, and that's in the passing game and the running game. And but I like the work ethic they've had. We just got to make sure we continue to instill confidence in them every day, so that when we take the field against some big games coming up, we're ready to play football.
Jeff, you got Nate Kuriski, a touchdown against Boston College. Are you pleased with how the progression of the tight end spot has developed over the year, and does it look like an area that could see increased attention as the season goes on?
Well, we want that area to continue to improve. Nate is a really good young tight end who just hasn't played a whole lot, so we just got to continue to let him gain experience. That position just doesn't have a whole lot of experience, and I just think, there's only so many plays you can run. You've got to make sure you're scoring points, moving the ball, being productive. Yes, we want to continue to work through that and get those guys some touches and catches and get them involved. They've done a solid job in the running game. We just haven't been able to get them the ball as much in the passing game, but I think as we proceed forward, we would like for that area to improve. But, those guys are giving really good effort. They're working hard. They're studying. It's just the experience factor was not there. We just got to continue to work through that.
Jeff,
For the season that started, we talked about Ashton kind of being the leader of this defense and kind of everything going through him a little bit. How have you seen that play out so far this season, and what have you just seen from him in terms of his play? Maybe not statistically yet, but as far as just getting those pressures on the quarterback and, making things uncomfortable for offenses.
Ashton's done a really good job. He works really hard. He's athletic. He's strong. He's tough. He's been able to stay healthy. He's somebody an offense has to factor into their plan. I think even Steven Heron on the other side has done a really good job. He's been really close to making some big plays and just missed a couple. We even talked about the other day. I like the production and the work ethic he's had, but I know he can make even more plays. The interior is getting better. I think Terry Quinn has been a great leader at the linebacker spot. He's made a lot of plays for us. He plays hard. He can tackle. He can hit, and that position's improving. And then, of course, quite a few guys in the secondaries have played, but I think Jarvis and Quincy are two veterans that when you can really isolate those guys one-on-one and take away their outside receivers, it allows the other guys to play even better. So I think it's continuing to develop playmakers there, but definitely Ashton, has been solid every game.
Jeff, Jalen Alderman made a name for himself when he scored a touchdown a couple of years ago on an interception. He had 8 tackles Saturday, which is a career high. How's he improved, and what's he done to get better?
Well, Jalen has worked really hard. He earned the starting spot. We haven't rotated as much at that position as we normally would because him and Terry Quinn have been solid, productive players for us. Continuing to be in the right spot at the right time and know exactly where he's got to fit the run and make the tackle and be in the passing lane when he reads play action and being able to adjust to that is continuing a progression that we're doing. But he gets great effort, and those two linebackers will hit and tackle and strike, and we just want to continue to improve their knowledge and experience and know all of what's going on and nuances of playing that linebacker position. But we like what we've seen, and we want to continue to hopefully build some depth there as well.
Jeff, how much college or NFL games do you watch during the season and perhaps jot down concepts or plays or things you might want to add to what you guys do, or is that more of an off-season kind of thing?
It's definitely an off-season project, but no, actually during the season, quite a bit. So, of course, if we see something that we like, it can be jotted down. But I'm going to watch a few other teams throughout the week, both levels, and just get a grasp of what's working and what they're doing. And that's just kind of common film viewing that we do, and we even try to do it with the defense as well. So I just think it's important that you spend enough time coaching your team and getting better and prepared, but sometimes there are a few teams that stand out that you just want to peek at. Hey, why are these guys playing so good, and what are they doing to shut people out, or what are they doing to score points, or what are they doing to create big plays? So you just kind of spend a little extra time doing that, and I think it's important to do that. You want to be really good at what you're doing without question. You want to continue to improve on your strengths, but having a different wrinkle every now and then is vital to success, in my opinion. And throwing the other team off by changing is important. We got concert going on. Can you wait till the music's over?
Okay now?
Yeah, okay.
I have it on. Yeah, he's just like 2 minutes ago. All right. Your team made a jump up in the computer polls. You're on the brink of making the top 25 in the writers and coaches polls. Pay any attention at all to that, or do you have to talk to your players about totally ignoring it?
Well, I think everybody looks at it on their own. I think, of course, we've got to prove to people how good we are, and we've got a great opponent coming up where we can either prove to people that we are good, or we got to figure out how much longer or how much work we got to put in to get to that point. But this is a game that really can showcase what you're all about, going on the road against a good opponent. And like I said, it can be a game that you got to pick up the pieces and move forward on. So we got to work hard to win this football game. And I think, of course, as dull and as boring as it is, it's a one-game season. We got to put everything on this game. We got to try to win it. We've got to build on the good things we've done and improve the things that we've need to get better at. But being aggressive and trying to go for the win in all three segments will be vital to us having a chance to win.
And one follow-up, it just was announced that the Notre Dame game's going to be 7:30 on ABC the following week, so it's another chance for a big showcase. That's got to be at least
we got some good music in here. I'm not going to get distracted by that or any other game other than the North Carolina State game. But anytime we get a chance to showcase what we're all about, it's an important piece of getting better and improving our worst. So we're looking forward to any opportunity that comes about.
You said you're going to review the film of the cartwheel, so what did you think?
Well, I did review it, and for a big fella that weighs over 300 pounds, I give it at least a 9. So, Willie actually is very athletic. We always screw around. We have some trick plays. We have some plays we throw it back to him, and he's got natural hands. So this is a guy that if we did need him to do the splits, I bet he could do it.
Jeff, on the Lighters as well. It's rumored that Taylor Swift's coming to stadium in about 6 months or somewhere in there. Will you buy tickets for Donna and Oscar and Greg and his family?
Well, they want me to, for sure. You know what? My family likes to go to some of those shows, so I'm sure if someone's coming in town, we'll probably be there.
Any other football questions?
There you go. Thank you.